first at 10.
Composting is an important part of gardening and has many benefits for the earth. So on this week's Weather Wonders, meteorologist David Tillmans explains the environmental impacts of composting.
Composting is the process of recycling food scraps, grass clippings, and other organic materials into a plant fertilizer that greatly helps soil health.
Compost is probably, I think, one of the most important things that you can put in your garden. It will feed the soil. It brings up the worms. The worms get in your garden. They aerate the soil. They leave their waste behind, which is very beneficial to the soil.
Composting is relatively easy and can be done in a pile in your garden, a tumbler in your yard, or even a bucket covered by a lid with holes to allow in oxygen. Jenny Wiss notes that her compost tumbler is homemade out of a pickle barrel. Composting carries a number of environmental advantages. One of the biggest benefits to composting is the reduction of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
Everything that you throw in the landfill, uses that methane gas, and that's what is a big problem with dumps and things like that. So anything that you can compost takes all of that out of the landfill, and it's so much better for the environment.
The microbes that produce methane are active in environments where oxygen is not present, such as a landfill or manure pile. Composting promotes aerobic decomposition, a process that requires oxygen and greatly reduces the output of methane into the environment. Composting also has a number of hydrologic advantages. By improving the physical and chemical properties of soil, composting promotes increased plant growth and increases the soil's capacity to hold water. This helps decrease stormwater runoff, which minimizes risk from flooding and helps control erosion. Additionally, composting can eliminate the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides. By keeping these potentially harmful materials out of soils, it in turn prevents contamination of water and improves our water quality. Wiss has a few tips for beginners. She says that it is important to layer greens such as lawn clippings and food scraps and browns like coffee grounds and leaves. It is also important to keep your compost materials moist but not soaked. Finally, there are actually a couple of things to avoid putting in your compost pile.
I never put meat. Meat doesn't really have any place in a compost pile. Then you want to watch how much citrus is in your pile because citrus is acidic.
I'm meteorologist David Tillmans for Weather One.